If carbs really made you fat, then why are shredded bodybuilders eating rice 6 times a day? For decades, carbs have been blamed for weight gain. People swear off bread, rice, and pasta thinking that cutting them out will magically melt fat. But here's the truth. Carbs are not your enemy. Fat gain doesn't work that way. Let's break it down so you never fall for this myth again. First, let's understand how fat gain actually happens. It's not carbs that make you fat. It's consistently eating more calories than your body burns. That's called a caloric surplus. You can eat low carb and still gain fat if your total calories are too high. On the flip side, you can eat plenty of carbs and lose fat, as long as your calories are in check. Now here's where the confusion starts. When you eat carbs, your body stores them as glycogen. Glycogen pulls water into your muscles. So when someone starts eating carbs after cutting them out, they instantly gain weight on the scale, but it's mostly water weight, not fat. That temporary weight spike leads people to blame carbs unfairly. Next, let's look at what actually makes us fat on a biological level. When your body gets more energy than it needs, it stores the excess. That storage can come from any macronutrient: carbs, fat, or protein. But fat is the easiest for your body to store as body fat. Dietary fat goes through almost no conversion to become body fat. Carbs, on the other hand, need to be converted through a process called de novo lipogenesis, and this process is inefficient in humans. Your body doesn't like turning carbs into fat unless you're already in a huge calorie surplus and your glycogen stores are overflowing. Here's a simple way to look at it. If you're gaining fat, you're overeating. If you're overeating, it's not just because of carbs, it's because of too many total calories. So why do people feel like carbs are to blame? Because high-carb foods are often easy to overeat. Think of cookies, pizza, fries, pastries. These are high-carb, high-fat, and high-calorie. It's not the carbs alone. It's the combination of carbs and fats, often with little protein, that leads to a calorie surplus. That's the real issue. Also, when people cut carbs, they often cut a lot of processed junk foods. So they lose weight. Not because carbs were the problem, but because they accidentally created a calorie deficit. Now, let's talk carbs per body weight. If you're active, especially if you're lifting weights or doing cardio, carbs are your fuel. They restore glycogen, improve performance, and support recovery. A general guideline for carb intake is low activity, mostly sedentary, 2 to 3 g of carbs per kilogram of body weight. Moderate activity, 3-4 workouts per week, 3 to 5 g per kilogram. High activity, daily training or athletes, 5 to 7 g per kilogram. Endurance athletes are very high volume training, up to 8 to 10 g per kilogram. So if you weigh 70 kilograms, about 154 pounds, and you train 4 to 5 times per week, a good starting point might be around 280 grams of carbs per day. That's not a low-carb diet, and that's the point. You don't need to fear carbs. You need to manage total intake based on your goal: fat loss, muscle gain, or maintenance. Let's quickly bust one more myth. Insulin. People say carbs spike insulin, and insulin stores fat. While insulin is a storage hormone, it doesn't automatically cause fat gain. It just helps nutrients get into cells. It goes up after eating carbs, but it also rises after eating protein. The bigger factor is your overall energy balance, not your insulin levels. In fact, carbs can help you train harder, recover faster, and preserve muscle mass. That's especially important if you're trying to get lean while staying strong. So if you're scared of carbs, remember this. Carbs are not stored as fat unless you're consistently overeating. Carbs support your workouts and recovery. The real issue is total calories, not just one macronutrient. Instead of cutting carbs, focus on eating whole, unprocessed sources. Rice, potatoes, oats, fruits, vegetables, and legumes. These provide energy, fiber, vitamins, and minerals without leading to uncontrollable cravings. In summary, fat gain comes from eating too much, not just eating carbs. Carbs are useful, especially for active people. Get your carb intake right based on your weight and activity level. Don't fear carbs. Understand them. If you found this helpful, drop a comment below and let me know your current carb intake. Are you under-eating or over-restricting? Hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's still blaming bread for their belly fat.